So moving to Parma's in your next chapter. Well, in today's video, we're gonna jump into a Google map and we're gonna show you around Parma. And hang around because we're gonna walk through the map and we're gonna show off Parma. We're gonna dive into what the market is looking like. But stick around to the end because we're gonna talk flamingos Parma style. So let's get into it right now. Hi, my name is Joe Latanzio and I'm with the Moving to Northeast Ohio team. And if this is your first time to the channel, then subscribe below and tap that bell for notifications so that you can be one of the first people to know about living in Northeast Ohio. You know, my team and I, we get calls, texts every single day from people just like you looking to make their move in Northeast Ohio. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 9 months, you need to give us a call. Shoot us a text, send us an email. All our contact info is in the description below. We'd be happy to help you make that easy move in Northeast Ohio. Okay, let's talk about location. So Parma is going to be here in this red dotted lines. Now we're only going to talk about the city of Parma. So in conjunction to Cleveland, here's Cleveland. You're about 9-10 miles southwest of Cleveland. So it's a pretty easy commute time. Now you're gonna have congestion on some of these main arteries. As you get into the morning commutes, right, into the city of Cleveland, if that's where you go every day to go to work, you're still 20 minutes on a good day. Doesn't include weather, doesn't include, if it's really busy traffic-wise, but you're 15 to 20 minutes on a good day. And then Akron, I'll show you where Parma is in proximity to Akron. So here's Parma. Akron's down here, and it's going to be probably about 34-ish miles from Parma, and it's going to take an easy 40 minutes from Parma. Again, it's going to be traffic dependent, weather dependent, all that kind of good stuff, commuting in the morning time. And you're kind of centrally located. You're close to all the highways, and we'll get into some of those roads here. But I mean, you're also close to other cities. You're not too far from easy access to North Ridgeville. If you want to get up into Westlake or Lakewood, you're going into Solon. As an engineer, I used to drive, across 480 to Solon every day. And that was this was way before they had 480 fixed up with all those lanes, and the bridge has been done and added, lanes to it. And it was a nightmare way back when. So it's not too bad now going across 480 though. What are some of your main highways, main roads to get to those highways? So let's talk about, you're boxed in, right? You've got 71 here. You've got 480 that goes all the way across here. You've got 77 north and south. And then you've got 176, which is the Jennings Freeway. And then you've got the Turnpike, actually, that kind of goes south all the way down and across. So you're kind of boxed in by all 4 major highways, and you've got access to them all with, let's get into the roads. You've got Pearl Road that kind of shoots through Parma Heights, right? So you got access to 71 here. You got Snow Road. Now Snow Road shoots all the way across Parma. You've got Route 3, right? Which again shoots straight through Parma. You've got access to 480 right there. That's Ridge Road. You've got State Road that goes straight north and south through Parma. Again, you got access to I-480 right here. And then you've got some, a couple more major east and west roads. You've got Brook Park Road, where you can also have access to the highway. This is going to be Pleasant Valley, which takes you across. This is going to be Sprague Road, takes you through Parma. And then you've got one of the main little roads here is Ridgewood that takes you through and out of Parma. So you've got some main roads that are going to take you in and out of all these little subdivisions. Okay, so you've got 2 airports Let's talk about that for you frequent flyers or vacationers, or you got to work and you got to travel for work. So Cleveland Hopkins International Airport is only 11 minutes from Parma, and that's right here. And you're looking at, cruising across 480, and you can State Road or Ridge Road. You can shoot straight across snow down here, jump on 71, take 71 north. So either way, easy access to the airport. You're only about maybe a 15-minute drive from there. You can also, if you want to take the public transit, I do believe that you can jump on the red line, and I think that takes you to the airport, and then it takes you to downtown. So you got some options if you don't have a car and you need to get around. It makes it a little bit easier. And then the second airport, it's going to be all the way down at it's going to be your Canton Akron Airport. So so you're right around in here, and that's going to be an easy 50-minute drive. That's clean shot. Don't worry about any traffic. 50-minute drive. So, and I would say that you're probably going to take 77 from Parma all the way down, or you can also shoot 77 this way as well. So a couple different ways you can go, but man, unless you get some great deals on tickets, or maybe it's the only place that you can fly out of, I don't think it's going to be pretty convenient to go to that Akron-Canton Airport. But Cleveland Hopkins is pretty darn close. All right, so I wanted to zoom in here and just touch upon a couple things, because if you're a commuter and you're driving back and forth to work, then you're gonna want to know that Route 3, right up here by 480, State Road, especially here in this area, they're gonna be fairly busy in traffic hour. Holiday seasons, it's really, the main way to get in and out of Parma. And plus you've got, you've got one of the shopping centers here, Lowe's and Menards and Home Depot are over here. Lowe's is over here in the shopping center. But that's going to be a sticking point for some people trying to get in and out of Parma. You do have this intersection right here, Snow Road and 42 is fairly busy. I used to live in Parma. I lived, Ridge Road. I lived over by St. Charles. So in here somewhere. That's when I bought my first house. But traffic has never really changed. They can't really do much to change the streets because Parma's pretty much, it's built, right? So you just have to leave early in the morning and hopefully either leave early or leave later after work in the evening. So let's talk about some demographics of Parma. There is about 81,000 residents. That's the population for Parma. It's actually the 7th largest city in Ohio. What really stands out in Parma, though, is going to be its Eastern European roots, and that's especially with the Polish village and the Ukrainian village, and you got the Italian and also German. So right around in here is going to be your Ukrainian village, and then just on the opposite side, right about in here is going to be kind of where your Polish village is going to be. I know that the Ukrainian has big festivals, and they have their Independence Day that they have, and they celebrate with a parade. And also Polish village also celebrates their Constitution Day, and they do have a parade for that as well. So those are two of the big ones. And over in these areas too, like there's some Ukrainian meat markets or some small little restaurants that you can get some unique food, kielbasa and pierogies. Now the median household income in Parma is going to hover around 67,000, which is kind of right in line with the national average. Parma's kind of got that solid middle class vibe going for it. You've got hardworking people, mostly homeowners, and a lot of them with some deep roots in Parma. And there's a lot of retirees in Parma too. All right, so let's take a look at the schools. Now, there are 13 schools altogether in the Parma City School District, 2 of which serve Seven Hills and Parma Heights as well. So they are, according to niche.com, Parma City Schools have a B-. You've got some less than a B-. So it kind of puts it in the steady and catching up bunch, but not the flashy top 10. But it's definitely respectable as to where their schools are, according to niche. So the entire district, all 13 schools, serve around 8,900 students. And on testing, it kind of lands in the middle. So you've got math proficiency, which is 54%, and then you also have reading, which is around 57%. And the graduation rates are going to hover right around 88%. So I did mention parks in my pros and cons video. So there's a couple of parks here, and I wanted to show them to you. There's the West Creek Reservation. Something cool I found over by the West Creek Reservation that I didn't know was there because I don't participate in that sport. But the West Creek Park Reservation has really great trails all the way through. There's a little bit into the woods in here. There's some trails that kind of run off into the woods in here. And then you've got nice flat trails. So if you want to jog on the pavement, or if you're challenged and you can only walk on flat trails, they've got some nice trails out there. Covers a lot. It's pretty peaceful back there. And then what I found was back in here, there's mountain bike trails. I mean, miles of mountain bike trails. I thought it was pretty cool. So if you're a mountain biker, you definitely got some cool trails. I mean, you can hike them too, so that it split between the hikers and the bikers, so you got to watch out. If you're hiking, just pay attention. But they go in the opposite directions. But it was really cool. I really liked the part. It was part of the West Creek Reservation. And then another one was right down over here, which was Veterans Memorial Park. So right now, that place is under construction. They're doing some things. When you come into the park, they've got all this area right here under construction. But it's a really cool park. You've got baseball diamonds. They've got a disc golf course there. It kind of runs into the trees too. And then they've got, what's really cool too is they have a nice memorial there, Veterans Memorial Park. But they do have I don't know if I can zoom into that, but they do have a nice memorial here. A lot of people were hanging out, a lot of trails. There's some trails out through here into the woods and stuff. So a lot of outdoor things to do in Parma. You don't have to go too far. All right, so let's zoom in. Parma has a ton of shopping. I kind of touched a lot more about that in my pros and cons video as being a definite pro. The big one that I did talk about is the shops at Parma. You've got this other one over here, which is the Quarry Square. You've got Yorktown Plaza. You got the little Pleasant Valley Shopping Center. You know, if you want big box stores, you're going to head over to the shops at Parma because that's where you're going to find your big box stores. You got Walmart, Target over there. There's a Kohl's actually right down the street. This isn't a shopping center, but you've got Kohl's. Got some place to eat. Target's back there. And then you've got all these restaurants. So right here by Day Drive, I mean, this is just full of nothing but restaurants, fast food chains. Now this isn't Parma, but this is a big shopping center right here. This is Brooklyn. It's a ton of shopping over there. And there's Lowe's that's over here too. And you got a bunch of restaurants. So you're close to all that. And then over in here, you've got Menards and Home Depot. And then there's a Walmart right here. You've got, I mean, this place is full of, you've got restaurants. There's even doctor's office on the north side of that plaza. Or I should say not the north side, I should say the east side of the plaza. So a lot of things going on in Parma for shopping and dining. All right, so let's take a look at some of the stats for Parma. Now, this is Parma City. I'm not including Middleburg Heights into this or Parma Heights in here. I'm just including Parma City itself. So it looks like there's a total listing count of 68 listings. Active listings are 31, so that's up 16 more than last month. Now the median listing price is $221,000, and there appears to be a 7.29% increase over last month. Median days on market though, it's only 17 days, so that's pretty tight market. So it's going to take 0.8 of a month, so not even a full month, to sell off at the pace that the current sales pace that's happening right now in the marketplace in Parma. To sell everything, all the listings, it would take less than a month to do that. I mean, you know, it's a competitive marketplace, but I will say that what I'm seeing in my own business is that, you know, a lot of price reductions are coming along the way, and, you know, but then again, there are properties that are really nice that my buyers are going in at more than asking because, you know, they want to try to get seller concessions on the property, you know, so they don't have to come out of pocket with all their cash and get that kicked back to them. So I am seeing those get appraised, and you gotta kind of make sure that it's that sweet spot, right? Where the appraiser's not gonna be like, wow, it's way over here and you're asking all this kind of money, you know, and they're listed at this price here. But I am getting those, and I'm getting them, you know, and I'm getting them appraised, you know, at the value that we come in at. So I must be doing something right. Okay, so let's go and check out some of the houses that are actually on the market right now in the MLS. This is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, built in 1930 with 1,800 square foot and another 1,000 square foot in the basement. This is in Ridgewood Gardens. See, they're older homes, but man, you know what? When people upkeep their homes, I mean, these older homes are pretty charming and they look really nice. That's a faux fireplace though. Updated flooring, typical Parma house. Kind of more of a bigger galley kitchen, but you got the oak cabinetry, so those are updated over the years. Typical bathroom, so 2 full baths. There's your basement, nice finished basement. Ceramic tile looks like on the floor, and some carpeting. So you know there's no water issues. And then you got a half bath in the basement. Well, that's nice. You got a tankless water system there. A lot of concrete back in the yard, so not a lot of grass to mow. But you got a nice covered patio back here in the back, and that's attached to the house. Decent sized house. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's take a look at. Let's see, that's 235. What else do we have here? 206. That's a ranch. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, built in 1954. It's got 1,300 square foot. Looks like the floors were redone. Updated kitchen flooring. Looks like they just painted the kitchen cabinets. Smaller ranch. Not really much in the kitchen as for counter. Looks like you can add a bunch though. You got enough room. So 1,300 square foot, 3-2. It's got a small basement. This one looks a little bit updated. Got some paint. Bathroom's kind of sort of finished a little bit. Doesn't have drywall on the walls though. So smaller home, $206,000. This is what this one listed. It started out at $214,900, which was a little high for the condition. What else do we have in the southeast? 214. That's 1,000 square foot. That was built in 1951. 364 square foot basement. So 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 214,000. Possibly fresh carpet. Smaller. Looks like they painted, updated the doors. What's your typical small little Parma house? I mean, I paid back in 2000. When was that? 1998. I paid $112,000 for my Colonial. The kitchen's updated. That looks nice. Updated the flooring, and that's upstairs. So you got a pretty big space upstairs. There's your basement. Not too bad. Let's see, what other kind of price points do we have? Let's go to $250. Let's see what you get for $250. Let me see what we got here. There's $324. That's in the newer area. When you start getting down in here, let's see what, $259,000. Been on the market for 53 days. So it's a fairly longer than 17 days. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's 1,100 square foot with 561 square feet in the basement. And it's listed at $260. Decent flooring, it's been painted. Got a little, what is that, maybe a 3-season room, dining room. Can't tell if those are newer kitchen cabinets or not, or if they're painted. Looks like granite or cultured. Updated bathrooms, ceramic tile in the showers, that's nice. Another full bath. That's a big bath. So in Parma, you're gonna, notice that the yards are gonna kind of all be longer, narrower, single car garage. So that one, 259,000, what subdivision is that? This one sold for $260, so I'm just curious as to the square footage difference and the look of it. So I want to look at this one. So this is 4-bedroom, 2-bath, built in 1952, 1,236 square foot. It's got a bigger basement, 824. So this was $260. So you've seen $259, and this one sold for $260. So I think that this one has a lot nicer features than the other property does, and it was finished a lot nicer. That's the basement. Yard's almost the same, single car garage. You don't have a covered patio in the back. I mean, a 3-season or 2-season room in the back. That was on the market for 5 days. Sold July 9th of this year. So I think just got to watch out pricing wise. Here's a 360, I won't say newer. I say newer, but built in 87. That's newer. Newer but older. 3-bedroom, 3-bath. That's 1,624 square foot. And it's a ranch, so it's got a full basement. And I'll tell you what, these houses right here, the ones that I have been in, I mean, they are built like, especially the ones in the 50s that are those kind of ranches. But this looks nice. It's been updated. It's got granite countertops, updated kitchen, flooring. Got that open to the living room. Old fireplace, but nice little spot. Newer doors. Nice bathrooms. So 1987 in Parma. You got a fairly decent sized basement and you get a bathroom down there. And a pretty decent sized yard and a back deck. So this one's been on the market for 7 days at $369,900. Well, thanks for hanging out. You made it to the end. If you thought this video was helpful, please give us a thumbs up. And you know what? We're going to continue to cover more in Parma. So in the meantime, make sure you check out our other videos in other cities in Northeast Ohio. And we always want to hear your feedback about living in Parma, so drop us some comments below, please, about your experience. What did you like? What didn't you like? It's going to help everyone who's watching the channel. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 9 months, please give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. And as always, schedule that Zoom call. They're going to be more fun. We'd be happy to help you out in any way possible. So until next time, we hope to see you around town.